This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Makakadash. Next, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor Camp here in Greenville, South Carolina. Coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. The Lord willing, it can be edifying. Alright, and got this article from Zero Hedge. Alright, and that crime is starting to hit, alright, the suburbs, man. Alright, who mostly dwells in the suburbs? Alright, you'll have coon-ass Jakes, man. You know, for the most part. You know, you'll have a small number of Jake or Moab or these other nations. Alright, but it's mostly Edom. Alright, the so-called white race. Alright, they're known for living in the suburban areas. Okay, you know, communities of you know, all Edomites. You know, and if a Jake roll up in the community, man, they look at them all sideways and shit. You know, the crime rate is usually pretty low. You know, they're in their own little world. You know, one that I can think of, I mean, there's some in my area, but you know, one that you can really think of if you're in the South is Buckhead, which is like right near Atlanta. You have Atlanta, and then you have Buckhead, and it has its own tall ass buildings and everything. Okay, all right, but you know, even on the West Coast, you know, there's a lot of suburbs out there. You know, Esau living in his kingdom. You know, living it up in his kingdom. All right, but now the Lord is allowing their private, you know, areas, so to speak, to be touched. Okay, there's an uptick in crime. All right, in the suburbs, man. All right, but getting into this, I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm gonna read a few paragraphs. All right, but it says, never seen anything like it. Los Angeles residents are stunned as violent crimes creep into wealthier communities. It says, after 2 years of rising crime in Los Angeles, residents of upscale neighborhoods are finally starting to freak out after a spate of flash mob lootings at high-end retail stores have been accompanied with a disturbing increase in violent crimes committed in the suburbs, according to the LA Times. It's lucky. All right, it says in this photo right here. All right, and I believe the brothers did a video on it. I think this is an older Jake couple. All right, but you know, the wife was murdered. You know, and this was on Wednesday. But it says crews of burglars publicly smashing their way into Los Angeles' most exclusive stores. Robbers following their victims, including a star of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and BET host, to their residences. And this week, the fatal shooting of 81-year-old Jacqueline Avant, an admired philanthropist and wife of music legend Clarence Avant, in her Beverly Hills home. It says, these incidents have sparked a national conversation and led to local concern about both the crimes themselves and where the outrage over the violence will lead. It says the fact that this has happened, her being shot and killed in her own home after giving, sharing, and caring for 81 years has taken the laws of the universe, said Oprah Winfrey, and she need to shut the fuck up. It says, expressing grief over Avant's killing via Twitter. The world is upside down, and it is upside down. All right, the righteous are not in authority right now, you know, and that's why these things are happening, man. All right, Esau's own corruption is even creeping into. Hey, it's coming back to haunt him, man. All right, you know, Esau had a big part, because more than likely, the ones that are committing these crimes, all right, you'll have Esau do it, but Jake like to go in and snatch shit, man. You know, Jake likes to rob. You know, in those videos that I saw, like, you know, Louis Vuitton and these higher end stores, you know, they doing smash and grabs, man. That's more than likely Jake. More in particularly the tribe of Judah. All right, and the scriptures speak about, which let me grab it real quick. All right, the Lord was going to allow Judah, the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes, to be a terror unto Egypt. All right, and that's speaking about spiritual Egypt. All right, because you read Revelations, I believe the 11th chapter, America, Babylon the Great is known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Let's look this up real quick. Because that's what's happening, man. All right, and this is only going to intensify All right, coming into times of instability, man. All right, the food shortages really haven't even hit all the way. All right, and that's what it's leading to. This is Isaiah chapter 19. All right, and it says, I'm starting at verse 16. It says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Every one that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it. All right. And then, of course, Judah it's a land. I mean, it's a people before it's a place. All right. You do have a land of Judah. All right. But you also have, it's the people, man. The so-called Negroes are the tribe of Judah. They're the head tribe. Okay. You read in Genesis, Judah is let me grab that. The Lord is rousing up Judah. And if Judah's getting roused up, you're going to have the rest of the tribes are going to follow. And that's on a carnal level. All right. That's speaking outside of the house of David. Let's grab this. Genesis 49 and verse 9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? Right. Hey, when this food instability comes, because they're the main people that they're trying to take this thing, right? Trying to convince them to take it are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, the tribes. You heard it out of Biden's mouth himself. All right, they might be trying to get everybody. They don't care about getting their own in the process, but best believe they're coming after you tribes. And a lot of Jake, the Jakes is not just absolutely bugged out and so into this world, man. All right, they gonna be on some shit, man. All right, cause hey, we haven't forgotten, all right, what these people have done to us, And there's gonna be Israelites, because it's written that take matters into their own hands, and they gonna fuck shit up, man. All right, best believe when these food shortages, because that's a big motivator, man. All right, the lack of food. All right, what's gonna happen when you go to your local Walmart and whatnot, and your local grocery store, they don't have any food. All right, well shit, there's only so much food in the hood anyway. Where are they gonna go next? They're gonna hit the suburbs, right? And who's in the suburbs? Esau. That's where these so-called race wars and civil wars are gonna come from, man. All right, because these Edomites are going to be trying to protect what they have. All right, protect their structure, protect their community, and Jake gonna be on some kick though shit, man. All right, and it's starting with these all these damn lootings and robberies that's going on in the suburbs now, man. Okay, but going back to this article. It says, the Times note that while overall crime rate within Los Angeles remains far below the notoriously violent 1990s, much of it has been concentrated in poor communities, right where Jake is. They don't care if it's where Jake is. They have an issue with it when it goes into these so-called protected communities, these gated communities. It says, so it receives virtually no attention. Now that the crime has crept up in wealthier enclaves and thrust its way to the center of public discourse across the city, says Turning Point. In 2020, polls showed that California voters largely supported criminal justice reform, as well as rolling back tough sentencing laws to reduce prison population without nary a thought to how it might affect the crime rate. Now those concerns about crime and blame liberal policies, it says, for its rise are growing more vocal. For others, it's been a serious wake-up call. It says, I've never seen anything like it, said Dominic DeLuca, owner of the Brooklyn Project skateboard shop on Melrose Avenue, where burglaries and robberies have seen a sharp enough spike in recent months that he's now carrying a gun to work. In the last 2 years, I have been broken into 3 times. On Thursday, Mayor Eric Garcetti and LAPD Chief Michael Moore advocated for locking offenders up and questioned several pandemic-related policies that put non-violent arrestees back on the streets without bail. All right, and then soon all these damn inmates are going to be out, man. All right, it's going to be all out chaos because the time that we're coming into, you know, as we always mention, and as the scriptures first and foremost mentions, that it's going to be a time like no other. It says, more said arrests have been made in several high-profile smash and grab burglaries, but lamented that suspects have all been released pending trial. Garcetti said warehousing criminals in jail without rehabilitating them is not a solution. Right, and that's that broken jail system, man. And really, it was a ploy for free slave labor. All right, but those curses are starting to fall upon Esau Edom, man. It says, but neither is seeding the streets to repeat offenders. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon. It says whose progressive policies around prosecution, and sentencing many blame for the uptick in crime. All right, really, it's just Yahweh Bashmiel Rashad, man. He's putting the spirit upon people, man. All right, to do these things, to fulfill prophecy. All right, but I want to grab this because this is going to be, all right, this is the chapter that pretty much hits this home, man. All right, and it's going to be tied around what? Food instability, man. All right, and tribulation. This is 2 Ezra 15. Come on. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right, this is coming upon the world. This just isn't coming upon Jacob, because we know that it's known as Jacob's trouble. All right, but this is, the Lord said, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Why? So it says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. You know, because of the pride. You read a couple chapters before that. All right, many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. The pride of these people, you know, and especially these damn Edomites that are in the suburbs, they think that they're just gonna rule forever. Like the scripture says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. You know, so these people in the suburbs, these Jake, you know, even Jake that's in the suburb, man, they think they fucking made it. All right, all this shit is gonna come crashing down, man. All these nice houses and whatnot, you know, that Esau's gonna try to protect, it's gonna be burned up. All right, but there's going to be skirmishes. All right, and the suburbs isn't safe either, man. I reading verse 16 again. It says, for there shall be, actually verse 15 again, it says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, there's going to be class wars. All right, and there's also going to be race wars. Right? It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. But they're not going to regard, all right, the ordinances of the king, so to speak. They're not going to regard whatever law enforcement, all right, or whatever politician, all right, whatever governing head is saying at the time, man. They're not going to care about that. All right, especially when, all right, there's food instabilities. Okay. Verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right, martial law is coming upon America, Babylon the Great too. All right, they're getting ready to lock everything back down. All right, Esau is really about to bring, all right, he's about to go full Draco mode, man. Okay, with those draconian measures. All right, he's going to come down with that great wrath. And it's going to put a lot of people in a predicament. Okay, it says, verse 18, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Right, the pride of these fucking people, man. All right, and we witness it on a day-to-day basis, man. The pride of these people. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right, the houses shall be destroyed. All right, not only in the so-called poor communities where Jake dwells, but these damn suburbs too. Verse 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. What is that? Famines. And the Lord said famines will be coming. All right, and if this time is going to be worse than any time, let's believe the famine is going to hit hard. All right, and people are not going to know what to do. All right, it says because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So All right, it's not out of the realm of possibility. All right, in fact, it's written that there's going to be a lot of people ransacking these damn neighborhoods, man. All right, you're gonna see a lot of people getting put to death. All right, in the suburbs, you're gonna have gangs and whatnot taking over houses and whatnot. Read Isaiah 13. The children shall be dashed to pieces. And their wives ravished. All right, that's what's gonna be going on. All out anarchy in the suburbs, man. All out anarchy in all of America, Babylon the Great. But this is show that this is coming to the suburbs too, man. All right, the Lord has He has it out for America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and nobody's gonna be able to stop what's coming. All right, it don't matter how many police officers, it don't matter how many troops. All right, you're gonna have Israelites that that kick back, so to speak. That are in the world. No, not of the hopeful elect. All right, we don't partake in none of that bullshit. But like the scriptures I read. All right, Judah's gonna be a terror unto Egypt, man. But also these Edomites are gonna fight against each other. Read that in Isaiah the 19th chapter. The Lord said He's gonna set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. So even in their own neighborhoods, man. One might have been a prepper and one might not have. And when there's no more food at these grocery stores and there's no more fuel, all right, they're going to resort to breaking into their neighbor's house and stealing that. So that crime is just going to go up all together, man. And that's just biblical prophecy, more biblical prophecy playing out before our eyes, man. And Lord willing, it continues to push forward. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.